I'd been fiddling about with a wee idea, and I think I'm finally getting somewhere with it. So I thought I really need to switch the camera on, because I'm not the kind of YouTuber that perfects an idea and makes it all lovely and gorgeous and then does it all again under camera. Make something and then it's made. And this is hashtag ABCJLC. It is for I. The prompts are ice. That's been a struggle. Indigo. That's a colour. That's okay. I didn't think that was going to be a struggle. But once you put ice in there, it becomes a bit more of a struggle. Insert. What am I going to insert? Jodi Lewis. Inserting a die into a die cut machine and cutting a leafy thing ain't insert. Well, I don't think it's insert. Please, 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 please go and watch Jodi's video for the IJLC, ABCJLC, because it is just such the most joyous thing out there. I will link it down below. Where were we? Ice, indigo, insert, and I've forgotten what the last one was. Indigo, insert, ice, inch. Oh, she cheated a bit with inch as well. Cut a square, and I thought, oh, that's a nice idea, a wee inch square or something. Then she cut off the corners, so it was no longer an inch square. It was a kind of inch, started off an inch square, and apparently that was okay. So maybe I go back to, I'm going to do a wee own up again. I own up to putting indigo out there. And when I put it on, I thought, I could maybe then get a bit of jean material and just stick that on, because that's indigo blue. And that ain't going to work with ice and insert and whatever the other one is. I keep forgetting. Inch. Anyway, shall we get on? I remembered when I was thinking indigo, what am I going to do? Indigo ice. And I thought, a cocktail. And there's a cocktail called an indigo fizz. And so I thought, I'm going to do an indigo. And then I went to have a wee look to see what other cocktails there were that would maybe have indigo. And there's an indigo Manhattan, and it's basically you put blue Kuro in a cocktail and they then start calling it an indigo whatever. An indigo martini's got blue Kuro in it. So what I thought I would do is I would do a cocktail card. Yeah, I know. And I'll tell you for why. Because I thought, I could insert a straw in. Ta-da! That's insert sorted. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, shall we? So, here's my card. I'll come to these bits in a minute. But this is what I've been fiddling with. I've been fiddling with how to make a bit of acetate actually, first of all, look like a glass, which meant it needed a bit of shading, because otherwise it would just disappear onto the card. So I've put a wee bit kind of shading in there. This is a bit of blue acetate that I also used for the very first, the A in the ABC prompt. So that's going to be my drink inside the glass. And so I've cut that a bit smaller. And that's, I like the way that's kind of cartoony. That suits the vibe I'm going for. Fine. And then I thought, well, maybe I want a more fancy glass. And then I thought, no, you don't want a more fancy glass, because you don't need a fancy glass. It's a cocktail. But I thought, how am I going to do the ice cubes? And I just put in, there is still a plain one somewhere here, but of course you can't find it. I just put a plain one in, and of course it didn't show at all. So I coloured these ones. And if I put these ones in, I'm just going to take the glass off. Coloured these ones in, and they still don't really show. And then I thought, but this really isn't the right blue. So I then decided to put a layer of, I started with Sharpie pen. This is the Sharpie, and that shows very liney. And this is Posca pen, and it's using the purple, but when you turn it over the other side, actually we've got a really good indigo colour. So what I decided I was going to do is So what I need to do is I want to stick those on here, and then I want to colour round at the back of this. I hope I'm making sense here. The back of this with the purple, and it was this with this Posca purple, which gives the doesn't give the lines. But I won't colour where the ice cubes are. So I'm hoping that you'll still see 2 depths of ice cubes underneath there, because the fact that there's ice, it will just make the drink less indigo at that point, and be a bit more transparent. That's the plan. Just taking it up between those ice cubes a bit round here. That's lovely. That will do the job nicely. And I'm just going to let, oh, there's a bit there that hasn't been done. Just going to let that dry. Okay. So I'm hoping that's done. Let's move this out the way so nothing happens to that. And we need to think about what else we're going to do on this card. And I thought that there's a choice. I could do the card long ways like that. And maybe I will do it long ways. I was thinking I wouldn't, but maybe I will do it long ways. Yeah, because that'd be easier for them putting the straw in, wouldn't it? So let's do it long ways. And what I was thinking was I would use this bit of embossed paper as kind of cocktail bar type wallpaper, and this would be the table that the glass was sitting on. That's the thought. So I need to think what I want to maybe do to this cocktail bar wallpaper. And the first thing, of course, I thought was, well, you could spritz it and colour it, and you could do all that. And then I thought, or you could just gold it, and it could be a kind of creamy background with gold. And I think that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to get those out the way, because I kind of get into my colours. Shall we maybe go for, let's go for the autumn gold, which is a kind of bronzy colour. And I need a little bit of, this will do, this will do. A little bit of, yeah, right, okay, Kirsten, yeah, that'll do, but your hands aren't going to open it, are they? Yes, they will. There we go. And I'll just squeeze, oh, you can't even squeeze a bit. There we go. See what I mean? It's a kind of coppery colour, which I think will be quite good. And then we just want a little bit on my finger. And I just rub it over the Okay, so you can see from where I'm getting gilding wax from that I have the wrong paper through the embossing folder, and I've ended up with some bits to try and get it shinier and stuff. It's kind of ended up going down in the grooves, and other bits aren't, but actually I quite like that kind of effect. I'm okay with that. But on here, because it's a smoother paper, I've got a lovely shiny finish over the whole thing. So maybe I should keep that rather than putting that back in the bin where I got it from, because I've actually got a nice bit of shiny something there. I need to polish it out though, don't I? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I'll try polishing out this one as well. This one's not going to polish out to the same extent because it's, yeah. Not bad. I mean, it's not brilliant, but it's the wrong paper I put through the embossing folder, because it's textured, and that's why it's not taking it as well as, I mean, this is just, I'm going to keep that. I've took that out the bin to put that down, and now I'm going to keep it because it's just, I don't know quite what I'm going to do. It might just put it through the die cut machine, die cut something from it. Oh, die cut a key. I've got keys. Key die cuts or hinge die cuts or something. Right, we're going to put that on there like that, and then we'll put that over the top. I think, oh, is it? Let's stick this down. Let's stick this down. Yeah, do I have a particular feeling of what's up and what's down? Not really. Right, and then I'm going to put this across the bottom as a table. Let's just draw around what we want. Taking the backs off for the napkin swap in Jodi Lewis Creations, so I could just cut off a bit of this and make that into a square napkin for the glass. There we go. Okay, I was just stood up to tidy up because I've just said I'm going to clear away, and when I stood up to tidy up to clear away, it was on pause. I don't remember putting it on pause, but clearly I did put it on pause. I think it was when I went to go and get the silver. This is origami paper to make a mirror. So I've got the Tracy Fox frame, I've got the silver origami paper to make the mirror, and I've done them. And I inked it, and as you can see, I've put in kind of, to make it a kind of older, antique mirror, a vintage one rather than being all bright and breezy. Now I'm going to tidy up, and then we'll come back to do the next thing, because where I'd got to after that was I'd made a wee napkin, and I can't remember if I'd made the straw and abandoned it. I made a silver straw, decided I didn't like the silver on the silver, so I'd abandoned that, and I was needing to do something else, but the mess was distracting me. So I'm going to tidy up the mess and I'll be back. One of the reasons why I wanted to clear up was I was struggling with what to do next because I still needed to do other things to this and there was too much clutter around. And one of the things that I had been trying, and I didn't like any of them, was I'd been trying with thin washi tapes which are within reach, but my wider washi tapes aren't. And I've picked up this washi tape and I'm wondering about this washi tape. I need, oh, you also didn't see, I shortened the glass because I decided the glass was too tall. And I've stuck that on there and I've just realised it's not very straight, but I don't think that matters. I've got this bit of ribbon. There needs to be something between this table and the wallpaper. So I'm wondering about that bit of ribbon, or I'm wondering about this bit of washi tape, which is maybe too thick and maybe too... Now I wonder what happened to that. She says, somebody remembering that she had metal washi tape, but did she use it all? I love it when I talk about myself in the third person. It's a way of trying to jog my memory. What do I do with still having? Ah ha ha ha! Maybe that's what I should use. And I'd totally forgotten about that. So I could use this, and this may be the solution I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't think I want it as wide as that though. So what I'm going to do is, none of us trust washi tape anyway. Get a bit of book page, stick your washi tape on your book page. If you use an old book page, like this is an old book page, then we all know that's going to stay stuck on that. That's going to tear up the book page before it comes off there. Let's just burnish it down to make sure. And then just going to trim the edges off so it doesn't stick to the guillotine. I don't want my guillotine blade getting sticky. And then we are just going to use the guillotine to make sure we end up with this thickness of, which is probably about that thickness. And I quite like this one having that cream bit, which wasn't planned, but actually I think it just get that other bit out of the way. It makes it just kind of makes it look more like it's planned and meant to be there. Right, we're going for this one. So let's just do that, and then we've got that bit done. There's the drink. Oh, and the ice cubes show up nicely against that bit of tape, don't they? Right. Do I want a bowl of nuts or something here? No, I don't, because I don't. Oh, but what I do need is this. This is an old retractable tape measure, and I haven't done inch yet, so I could just, I think I'm just going to put an inch here, which means I've got to cut it just before the half, like that. There is an inch. I need to insert a straw. I was hoping to make it in such a way that right, what I want to do for my straw is I want to use a bit of this. So I'm going to insert a straw, and I want it to be on this side of, I'd like it to be, I don't think it can be behind an ice cube, but it might be able to be behind an ice cube. There we go. I'd like it to be behind the ice cube. Insert a straw. That straw's maybe a bit too, well, maybe not. Maybe it's a bit too thick. It needs to be only that length, but it needs to be a tad thinner. So let's just cut off a slithery bit off the edge of it, like that. And the reason why I wanted to use that edge of the paper was to make it look like a bamboo straw, because although paper straws are often used, lots of people don't like paper straws, me being one of them, and metal straws, and I think there's enough metally hints around there that actually what I want to do is I want to use what could be seen as a bamboo straw, and I just want to round the end. I think this end should really be rounded the other way, shouldn't it? Like that. There we go. Let's put the straw in between the drink and the ice again, because I want it to be behind the ice cube to help the ice cube stand up and make it look more like it's in the glass. It's inserted into the glass. Right, this should be stuck now. If it's not stuck now, then I'm going to have to stick it with something else. It is stuck now, so let me trim this. I've got one other thing I need to do, but I need to go and find it. It's oh yes, like that. A bit of art for the wall here. That's a bit of a play on words thing, but I just suddenly thought, oh, I need to go and find one of those and put it on there. So this is hashtag ABCJLC, and it's prompt I, and we have ice, insert, indigo, and what's the one I'm missing? Oh, inch. And today's date is the 25th. It's Friday the 25th today, although it probably won't get aired today. Stamp that. And here is the finished card. Oh, I think I maybe want to, I was thinking I would put a ink around the border of this actually. And we have our indigo cocktail, and it's in a shot glass. So I've decided it's an indigo Negroni, which is kind of a strange cocktail, because that's what my husband calls this, a serious cocktail. In other words, it's not one of these fun ones that you just kind of knock back like an alco pop. He calls Negroni a serious cocktail, so it probably would, you'd never have an indigo Negroni, but hey, it looks like it's got a kind of Negroni look to it, with its ice in. And here is an inch, which is just a bit of thing. And I've inserted a straw into the indigo Negroni. And in the mirror here, I decided, because it's I. Do you get it? Because it's I. Love this image. This is from Art House Whimsy. There it is, big. Just in case you can't see that there. But I just thought that can go up as, because it's an eye. And then I wanted to just put another bit of blue in. And so I thought, well, let's put a bit of blue reflected in the mirror. So this is the end of cocktails. And if you've ever wondered how to write backwards, I find the easiest thing is to write it forwards, then copy it backwards, and then copy that, not that. And so I decided I didn't want the whole thing in, so I started with the C, the second C, and just did it from that way, and then just put some serifs on the end just to make it a bit more kind of as if it was over the cocktail bar or something. Maybe a light catching the, see, I could do more kind of stuff in the mirror, you know, if I got kind of this brown one, for example, and kind of just did it as if there was it was actually at the top of the bar. You know, maybe there's a bar post there and stuff, just kind of also reflected in some bottles and the shelves and things there. But then it starts getting very fussy. You've got to be careful it doesn't start getting too fussy. We need to put some blue and some green bottles, don't we? As well as that brown bottle. We've got one brown bottle, and just keeping it simple, just as a line, nothing more than that for the bottle. Just to kind of, otherwise, as I said, it starts to get too fussy. You're not. And this is an antique mirror, so an antique mirror never gives you an excellent reflection. It just gives you a bit of a reflection for like bouncing light round. But anyway, there we go. So we've got a bit of the cocktails in the bar, but here's the indigo Negroni for my prompt. Thank you so much for watching. It'll be Jai next time. And if you haven't already done so, remember you can go over to Jodi's Facebook group and add to the letters. I've written down as one of the prompts for Jai, Jodi, and afterwards I've said your name. I'm not shouting on you. I actually want your name, Jodi, as one of the prompts. So I will laugh so much if that's what the random generator pulls out is actually Jodi's name. I will laugh so much. But we'll have to wait until not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that for that. You take care. Keep crafting. Bye for now.